My father, he was a bass player for the OJs, but he also played on like some of the most legendary records. Patti LaBelle, If Only You Knew, wow. Teddy Pendergrass, so many songs with Teddy. The list goes on, but he told me how important it was to make sure my business was correct. And he told me how he got taken advantage of. All these hit songs, and he never received royalties.
Wait, none of them?
None of them.
Our industry is so based on vibe. The business side of it, it's sometimes a tough thing to navigate because a lot of times we'll go into sessions and the first couple hours is literally just conversation.
I started going to therapy in about, 2020? She was like, a lot of the issues start from your childhood. So it's pretty much like me, I felt like I was just trying to save that inner child.
That trauma we will end up going back to because it's a survival response for how we thought was the best way to save us at the time, whatever we were scared of. Let There Be Art podcast. I'm your host, Devin Michael, along with my co-host and beautiful wife, Jade Nova, who's an amazing singer, songwriter, and actress. I'm a music producer, musical director, composer, and industry veteran of over 15 years who's worked with Rihanna, Lizzo, and Stevie Wonder, to name a few. We started the Let There Be Art podcast to teach people in our communities to start sustainable businesses as independent creators from a holistic perspective that embodies mind, body, and soul. So welcome today to our podcast episode, my guy, Remey Williams.
Okay, so
right.
we got Remey Williams.
That's right.
Of the Camden, New Jersey Williams.
Absolutely.
Okay, he is a prodigy. He grew up in the church, comes from a musical background. His father was the legendary Jimmy Williams from the group OJs. He played bass for the OJs. Remey's a talented musician, producer, vocalist. We stand a multi-talented king. Okay, he learned to play drums when he was only 10 years old, which is crazy. He's produced for over 30 artists. He's toured with artists such as India Shawn, Jacob Lattimore, Summer Walker, Nicole Ray. You were Nicole Ray's MD too, right? That was your first gig?
That was my first gig.
That's crazy. And then he's done a lot of live recordings as well with hip hop artists such as Scotty ATL, who actually made my first grill, and B.O.B. Ooh, baby, where you want to start? There's so many things I want to cover.
So yeah, for this episode, I really wanted to get into balancing being a multi-hyphenate, especially as a musician who is called in to be a session player a lot of times. So there's a clip that I think we should start with from Ty Tribbett on the Club Shay Shay podcast. So let's cue that up.
Justin Timberlake is coming, dude. That's why we got Crimea River and all that stuff.
Yeah, I was about to get to that.
You know I'm gonna go there.
Behind
you know I'm gonna go there.
Timberlake, the just doom doom.
Yeah, I was doom 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 doom.
Let's.
Oh, now you're gonna prove it? I gotta prove it?
Hey.
Something like that. Something like that.
Hey. Oh, that was a hit song. I know they broke bread with you with that one, didn't it?
Yeah, we had dinner.
Oh, come on, Ty. Hold on. Ty, that's one of his biggest songs.
I didn't know the business then. I was working with Timberland, and Timberland's still my dude to this day. He cut me a check. I took that $2,000. I split it up between everybody. I didn't know points.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5,
So count it up.
Look,
I came up with about $75. I didn't know the business then. I'm not upset about it. It's all good. It's what it is.
That is crazy.
Yeah, but we see it so much in our business where these amazing musicians are literally coming in and creating chords and melodies.
The heart of these songs.
Exactly. And don't get the proper credit. You spoke on in the intro, Jade, about his father being the legendary Jimmy Williams, an amazing bass player and musician who contributed to a lot of different records. I'm sure you can relate on that end to this, and then just curious on if you've had those experiences yourself as a musician.
Absolutely. I'll just start with my dad. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, my father, he was a bass player for the OJs, but he also played on just some of the most legendary records. Patti LaBelle, If Only You Knew.
Wow.
Teddy Pendergrass, so many songs with Teddy. Turn Off the Light, wow. Come On and Go With Me, Love TKO. The list goes on, but I remember we had an interview before he passed, God rest his soul. He talked to me about how he was treated in the music industry. Mm-hmm. And he came up as a musician, a studio musician under Gamble and Huff. And
Is that an agency for musicians, or what is that?
so
exactly?
so Gamble and Huff, they were the sounds of Philadelphia, and they were two guys, and they just pretty much Patti LaBelle and all these amazing artists came up under them, and they would produce a lot of hit records.
Got you. So it was like a
So the Timbaland
Yes.
in this
Got
case.
you.
Absolutely.
Look, I'm sorry, I had no idea.
No,
Thank
it's
you
all
for
good.
educating.
It's all
So,
good.
Okay.
They are like huge in Philadelphia. But he told me how important it was to make sure my business was correct. He always told me that, when you go in the studio with these big artists, don't keep your composure, because sometimes when you get that opportunity, especially if it's your first opportunity, you get excited. You're like, oh my God, I'm here. But you always got to keep in mind business. And I feel like sometimes as us being musicians, we don't know about the music business.
Yeah.
We know about the music. We're great at that. And he told me how he got taken advantage of. All these hit songs, and he never received royalties. Yeah.
Wait, none of them.
None of them.
And was he? Correct me if I'm wrong. Was he credited as a producer on these records?
He was credited.
He was credited.
He was credited, yeah. But he never received any royalties. And I think to this day, not to this day, but he was fighting to get and receive royalties. But
Right.
I don't think it never happened. So
Did they have like agreements with him?
at that time, I'm not sure. I don't think they did. I think it was just they recorded and they got paid as musicians, and that was it.
Yeah.
I don't think they
Especially
received
back
it.
then, when a lot of the music laws and publishing was very, very shaky. Like you didn't have access to things to know how things were being paid out
Absolutely.
and how they were calculating those rates, what a producer was, the point, all of that stuff. So if Ty didn't know in the early 2000s, Kurt Franklin also talked a little bit about
Yeah.
that in terms of publishing in the early 90s, late 80s. And this is back in the 70s.
This is back in the day.
Man, so I can't even imagine like the lack of access to proper attorneys, people who actually had knowledge of this stuff in your local communities. They're not doing entertainment law. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, he suffered a lot. He had a lot of emotional buildup from those songs where it was like, man, I didn't receive what I deserved. I made these hit songs. I helped create, I was a part of this, and
A part of some of the most memorable parts.
Some of the most
it. 'Cause
memorable.
The bass line. Look, I listened. I think you had a couple TikToks talking
Yeah.
about songs my dad contributed to, and the bass line was so like.
Everything.
it was everything. Like, Love TKO, come on. Boom, 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 boom. That bass line made the song, and it's just,
Literally.
he didn't receive what he deserved. I just feel like any musician who just gets paid, oh, here you go, here's your little couple $100, like a church musician, it's not cool.
That's wild, because even back then, what a producer was a completely different thing than what it is now. So you would think that at that time that they would have considered that more of a contribution than just a session musician versus a Timberland, where now everything's electronic and there's all these things. Then you bring a musician in. Not that it makes sense, because I don't think it's fake, but you would think that back then, when that was what production was, that would have been a different, the way it would have been handled differently.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they were just looking at it like almost a coach thing. It was like, yeah, I can see your talent, and you can go out and create all of these. I'm just gonna manage it and say, well, no, maybe do it a little bit of this, and that was considered production back then.
I was just about to talk about that.
Yeah.
Speak on it.
I think I've been in sessions where you're producing. When you're producing, and then there's somebody in the room, they're like, that part right there, I need you to do that. And it's like, I just did that. And you see their name on the credit. You're like,
I created that.
I created that, and he didn't touch anything. He was just in the room. So I learned a lot about the music business and the music industry, and that part is just, I'm still trying to learn it. I haven't turned, so I'm protected, but yeah, it's crazy.
Have you ever dealt with that personally, just as a musician creating on something and not get like proper credit or the credit you think you deserve?
Yes. When I first moved here, I won't say no names, but I was in that space where I was like, I wanted to make it. That was my dream, to just make it in Atlanta. And I was writing songs, going to the studio every day. And he was like, yo, we got a hit. I'm like, okay, cool. I send you my stuff for BM, da-da-da. And I never heard anything else about it. And out of the blue, I see the song, he posted about it, and he got the credit for it. Like, he wrote it. The chorus, he's singing on the chorus and everything. And I'm like, so I texted him. I said, hey, bro, I see the song came out. What's up with the splits? I didn't get credited. Nothing. He was like, oh, we'll work it out. We'll get it checked out. Never heard anything else.
Yikes.
So at that time, I just parted ways. I'm like, nah, I can't work with y'all, man.
Yeah. No, yeah, have definitely dealt with situations like that or whatever, and it's like we made an agreement on what these splits were and everything, and then you go and even with major label situations, going on my BMI and the record's not there. It's like
they're not registering these things properly. There's still songs to this day that I've been a part of that they have not done the business properly.
It's terrible.
Yeah, or where I've been paid as a singer, but they gave me a fee, similar to like what you said your father experienced, and then they didn't want to treat me like a feature.
Yeah.
And it's like
it's weird.
It's really weird.
So my thing is, I guess now, would it be weird to walk into the studio and before you even get started, it's like, okay, I have paperwork here. I just want to write this stuff down, because sometimes you'll be in multiple sessions with this producer or artist, and they're like, oh, we'll write it down. And then stuff gets messed up. People forget what you contributed to that. And then somebody else gets the percentage. So it's like, how do you guys feel about bringing in paperwork to a studio session and be like, listen, I just want to have this paper here to let you guys know. I want to write down everything I've done.
No, for sure. I think it's something not necessarily before you create, but afterwards, it's like, while it's fresh on our mind, let's have this conversation. These are what the splits are. Here's my BMI number. Here's my publishing company number. Register this if this makes the album.
Yeah, that's all you got to do.
Have to, or you cannot use my files.
Yeah, I agree.
Our industry is so based on vibe,
though.
And I think that's why the business side of it's sometimes a tough thing to navigate, because a lot of times we'll go into sessions and the first couple hours is literally just conversation, because it is such a personal experience. We're writing about, if you're coming in as a writer, you want to learn more about the artist, or if you're just creating a song, you just want to know more about the people that you're creating with, because that space matters. But you gotta have a business together. You do. And it's such a taboo thing within our industry, even as musicians. And I'm sure that's something that both of y'all can relate to when it comes to working as a musician or a musical director, and people gatekeeping like the standard for how much you guys should be making. There's no accountability, and there's just no access to that information, because we act like we can't share that, when in other industries there's so much transparency. There has to be that kind of transparency. How have you both navigated that, and how do you see yourself treating the next generation and how much you decide to share, or even with your peers?
In terms of what we're making?
Yeah, or just that transparency that we didn't necessarily have.
There wasn't a lot of transparency, but luckily I had people in my life who I could go to, and I asked the hard question, like, what are you getting paid? Like, I asked Ricky Minor, I asked Adam when I started to MD and do gigs, like, what's possible for me to make? I know I'm not you yet, but like, give me the real about this. And I've never been scared to ask those questions. I feel like that's why we have these people in our lives. Just trusted their mentorship. They didn't lead me wrong. They said yes immediately. It was no pushback. And I thought that number may have been too high at one point in my career. And it was like, nah, but that's why we have to have more transparency, because then you're messing it up for the next generation, or even for yourself, that you're going to go and get undercut by people who are willing to take penny on this stuff.
Yes.
That part.
I agree. My story is similar to you. When I first got into the industry, I asked my brother Spanky, crazy drummer.
Amazing.
And I also
Philly, Camden area legend. Yes.
Yeah, my drum mentor. And then I also asked AP, Adrian Porter.
Yep.
And I wanted to know, because it's like, you're doing all these gigs, you're touring, and you can get taken advantage of. And I was like, hey, bro, I just need to know what I should tell them as far as my rate. I mean, this is my first gig. However, I don't want to be taken advantage of. And one thing he did talk to me about was sometimes you have to set the bar high and let your low will be like, okay, this is the minimum that I'll get. I'm like, I can't go no lower than this. Now, if I go higher, I'm getting more than what I expected. And that's what I just started doing. And after that, I never got taken advantage of. Sometimes if it's an artist starting out, they may not have the budget. So it's like, it's certain things that it's all up to you as far as like what you're willing and what you're not willing to do. But
and that's what having your intuition of, I feel that there's something special about this person. I want to build and grow with them. So it's that tug of war, trying to figure out what situations you do that for. That was what it was with Jade. I'm like, yo, I don't care about money. This is bigger than that. So I totally get that. So Camden, New Jersey, Philly area, a lot of amazing music. You just mentioned Spank, Ty Tribbett, your father. So many.
I'm curious though, because your father played bass. I'm curious why you chose drums.
He used to have a studio in Parkside, New Jersey. And Like sometimes the band for the OJs would be there, and he had this octopad drum set. But I just was never, I never was a fan. Like I love bass, but that was just an instrument that I just never looked at. But he had these octopad drum set, and I would sit there, and I forgot what song it was. I don't know if it was a 112. It's like a boom, 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 and I picked up the drums, and I picked up some sticks. I got on drums, and I just mimicked the beat. And I remember him telling me, I'm like, stay right there. I'm like, okay, bet. And he put on the metronome. He said, I want you to play to this for an hour straight. And I remember he was just like, once you lock this in, if you can lock in playing to a metronome and just keeping the beat, you'll be paid for the rest of your life. And that stuck with me, and I never picked up another instrument. I never picked up another instrument.
Wow.
Yeah.
That pocket will take you there, man.
Boy, it would take you places. It's taking me places, so.
Yeah.
That was your first instrument too, right?
Yeah, drums was my first instrument. 3-4 years old, growing up, watching my older brother play, and that was everything. You had to be locked.
Yeah.
Growing up in the black church, man,
What?
you got to be locked.
Oh my God, especially in the black church. I had no excuse. It was like everybody who played at the church were professional musicians, were touring musicians. So if you fill in, the pressure's on. You gotta be right.
Yeah, so growing up around all these touring musicians, and then your father being a touring musician, I'm just curious of how that was as a child with him being on the road and things like that.
It was bittersweet because with him, I learned a lot from him. Music, like we had a lot of conversations about music, but it wasn't until I was in my 30s where we started talking about real life situations.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of things that he missed out on,
Yeah.
like high school graduation or just those deep conversations, father-son conversations in life, because he was always on the road.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I got older where I understood. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. Because for me, because I missed that, I was upset. I was disappointed. I'm like, yo, you missed a lot. You missed a whole lot.
Yeah.
So you had some resentments as a kid?
I did. Definitely when I graduated from college, I was upset. I'm like, yo, he can't even make my college graduation. And my apologies. He did make my high school graduation, but he didn't make my college graduation.
Got you.
But he always was a provider. He always was able to take care of home, and yeah.
But what was the family dynamic?
I was the baby, and I have 3 sisters and 1 brother.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I was the last one in the house.
The babies are the best.
Yeah.
Shout out to the babies.
The babies are the
family.
best.
I'm my mom's baby.
Okay.
I mean, you an honorary baby. Come on.
I'm a mom's baby, so it's not honorary.
You technically, you technically the baby.
So I'm curious, what was one of the biggest pieces of advice that you received from your father? And it doesn't even have to be musically.
He talked to me about relationships and music and how to have balance in between both. Because both of you guys are artists and musicians, you tour, and sometimes you can get so wrapped up in your craft that it can be hard to balance. Okay, I have a significant other that I actually have to balance, go out on dates. I have to be a husband. You know? And now I would talk to him about it. I'm like, yo, sometimes it could be hard. It could be difficult because you're always on the road. And if the other person is at home, they may feel like, oh, he's living his life. Meanwhile, I'm at home, I'm just doing my regular thing. So he just told me the importance of just balancing being a creative, a musician, and then being a husband. He was like, you got to be able to do, like, because if you stay just in your art, sometimes you could just end up alone.
Yeah.
You'll have so much, you'll have all the accolades, you'll win, but you'll win alone.
Facts, and that's that's no way to live, man.
Yeah.
So what's the solution for that? How do you find that balance?
So what I had to learn is scheduling, one, is a big thing for me.
Come on, speak on it.
My wife loves quality time. And when she does not receive quality time, it's a problem. So I make sure that if I have a session or if I'm working on something, I'll be like, hey, babe, I'm working on this for this amount of time. I'm going to be locked in the studio. But do you want it? What's your schedule like? She's a flight attendant, so she's always on the road. So we'll pick a day where she's home. She's like, hey, babe, I'm off this day. I'm like, cool. I'm going to work till this time. And after that, I'm always just to set that quality time and keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned college. What college did you go to, and what did you study?
I went to Wilberforce University.
Okay.
And that's in Wilberforce.
It's in Ohio.
Yeah, it's in Ohio. Yep. And at first I studied music and then I switched over to communications.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Did you want to go to college? Why'd you go to college?
I went to college because I didn't want to stay with my mom. Yeah.
Wait, was it an ultimatum?
It was.
Okay.
It was. So at first I wanted to go to Rowan University. That's in New Jersey, but I was on the waiting list, so it took a little long. And after I graduated, I received a call from Wilberforce University. They said, yo, you've been accepted. You can come to Ohio. My dad didn't want me to come. And I was like, maybe I'll just stay in New Jersey, but I really didn't want to. I wanted to see what else was out there.
Yeah.
So I remember my sister, she said, listen, you can either stay here with mom, and she was like a hard Christian, Bible study, shut-ins, prayer night, vacation Bible school. And she was like, you can either do that or you can go to college and live your life. I said, yeah, I'm going to head out. I'm going to head out. I'm out of here. So I'm going to go ahead and head out.
Yeah. Do you feel like that college experience was necessary for what you do, or would you change anything about it? 'Cause I guess in your mind, would you have gone straight out into being a gigging musician?
I will have to say I loved my experience being at Wilberforce University. Did I love doing work there? Absolutely not. I don't think any student loves to do work there, but the people that I've met, some of them are like, I still talk to them today. They're like my brothers and my close sisters, and the experiences that I had there prepared me for what I'm doing today. For example, I was in the choir, but I was playing drums for the choir. But we would tour, like going to LA and Florida, all over the.
Oh, y'all was lit.
Yeah, it was lit. I was like, oh, this feel like a gig. When we had rehearsal at 4:00 pretty much every day, but it prepared me. It's like if you're late, then you got to stand on the side. He asked why were you late, but now I graduate, I moved to Atlanta, and now I have that in my head. It's like, oh, this is it's like clockwork. I already know what to do. Be on time. So it definitely prepared me.
Why Atlanta?
I wanted to move to Atlanta because LA I felt was too expensive.
Period.
New York, it was too close to home. And I always wanted to be in Atlanta. I think watching certain movies too, and my goal when I first moved to Atlanta was to sign with Zone 4. I'm like, Carrie Hilson and Polo.
Yeah.
But I always knew I wanted to move to Atlanta and just make it here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So growing up in church, do you feel like the church still has influence on today's artists, just curious of your experience with that, being an artist as well.
I think our generation, yes. I think growing up in church, as far as our generation, it definitely had a huge effect on how we sing R&B, how we perform. Because if you're on a praise and worship team, it's like you can't just go up there just holding them like, hey, yo, how y'all doing? Like, nah, you got to bring the people in. And I think nowadays the artists are no disrespect, but some of the artists are dry as far as performance. Like you're an entertainer when you step on that stage. That's what for me, that's a dream of mine. That's what I've always wanted to do. And I believe that church prepared us for it. And I think nowadays it's just, I think that's what's missing sometimes. Not for everybody. Some people they just have it, but I definitely see a difference.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely different. It's definitely different,
Yeah.
man.
A little sleepy time.
Yeah.
And that was a big reason why I was like, if I'm gonna MD for somebody, like you really got to inspire me on the stage. I can't do it because it's rough, man. Curious, just as an MD or as a producer or artist, are there any specific artists that you would want to work with? Any dream collaborations for you?
Yeah, I have a lot.
I'm ready.
I have a lot. So this may be random, but I've always wanted to work with Q-Tip on production. Always wanted to work with Q-Tip. As far as artists, today's generation, I would love to work with Lucky Day. To me, he's amazing.
Yeah.
And I would love to work with Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder is
The GOAT.
the GOAT.
I still can't believe I worked with him, bro.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What? Can you talk about it?
I said it in the intro very briefly, but yeah, man, I work with Stevie 2 times, I believe. Yeah, we worked on the Grammy tribute to the Bee Gees, and the Grammy tribute to Lionel Richie.
Oh my
So,
god.
yeah, shout out to Ricky Minor for pulling me in on those.
Ricky
and
Minor.
got to hang out with him at Ricky's house, and then she performed on House Full of Toys. His Christmas concert in 2017.
That was my when we did the segment Dreaming Nightmare.
Yeah.
That was my dream on my episode with Devin on the podcast. But man, we did a cover of Overjoyed, and Stevie heard it. And it was Ricky. Ricky Minor reached out and was like, "Stevie Wonder wants to meet you." And I almost passed.
That's crazy.
Because I don't know if y'all know, but Stevie Wonder is my favorite artist of all time. I thought I was going to have a heart attack, like 'cause man. And then we went there to his rehearsal. Oh my God, his
So yeah, I guess I worked
is-
with Stevie 3 times.
Yeah,
That's
technically,
crazy.
because
Because
you
I did the
arranged my
arrangement for that.
song.
Nah, that's a flex.
But wait, you jumping the good because I got to get to the good part of the story. So he was rehearsing for House Full of Toys, which is his annual charity concert that he does at Staples. And then, after we meet him, our son is there, whatever. He's like, "Do you know any Christmas songs?" I'm like, "Absolutely, I know Christmas songs." So Devin had arranged "Oh Holy Night" for me. Was it something that we had done prior or something? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just did it there, and he's like, "Oh, can you perform that tomorrow?" I was like,
Oh, that's incredible.
"Let me tell you." And I gotta play this for you, not right now, but the intro. He introduced me, and look. I don't care how this sounds to
crazy.
anybody. This is the ultimate moment for me, and something that I will forever be proud of. And if ever I feel like I need affirmation or validation or just anything, I think about that moment because, man.
Yeah, no, that's huge.
Yeah, Stevie's the GOAT. I talked about this on another episode, but yeah, he's my GOAT. Especially, man, songwriting.
What?
Out of here, man.
How was rehearsals? Like, was it strict? Was it like a different kind of vibe?
He
or-
was real in and out, man. It wasn't strict at all. He likes to flow. And
You could tell he just loves it.
Yeah,
He just loves it.
that's crazy, man.
Yeah, man.
Stevie.
Stevie's the GOAT. So I want to get into your artistry, man. You're
Okay.
super duper talented, man. Because I only knew you as a drummer at first. When I first heard your music, I can't remember where we were, but actually I think it was something to Slims.
Yes.
Actually, and that was the first time I heard your artist stuff. It's like, man, this dude is really talented, and you don't see a lot of drummers, especially do that. The only few that come to mind, Teddy Campbell. I know he just performed at the DNC.
Wait, he sings?
Yeah, Teddy Campbell.
I did not know that.
Yeah, bro. Like quartet stuff.
I did not
man.
know that.
Yeah.
That's fire.
So he was doing like some James Brown stuff, like singing from the drums.
That's so
man.
fire.
Yeah, no, Teddy's dope, man. Shout out to Teddy, who I got to work with through Ricky,
That's
actually.
fire.
And but yeah, just curious of your artist journey and just your process for you're actually working on an album right now. Just curious of your process balancing your musicianship and your artistry and
Production.
I guess, and everything. Yeah.
Man, where do I start? I guess I could just start from me transitioning from being a musician and going into my artistry. I have to say that I think sometimes it could be a little difficult because people know you just as, oh, you just play drums. So when you transition to, oh, I want to be an artist, I feel like you don't get taken serious. Like, oh, you just doing music on the side, cool. But it's like, no, I really sing and I really produce. So I had to take a chance on myself, and I'm like, you know what, let me just start posting videos. Let me just be consistent. And both of you may know too, it's like being an artist, sometimes when you're singing behind or doing background vocals or whatever, sometimes you can get so tied up in just doing that you never really take that risk or take that chance on yourself. So it really takes you just being like, you know what, nah, I got to do it. Because the same hours that I'm putting into these rehearsals, I can come right home and do that for me. That's a lot of energy that I'm giving to this person. Why can't I do that for myself?
Yep.
So I just wanted to just give it my all, and it worked. I think I'm doing okay. Yeah. And me starting to play, when I started to play and sing at the same time, that actually happened on accident. My whole band dropped out on me when I did a show in South by Southwest.
Oh, man.
And it was the day of us driving there. And I'm like, all right. So all I had was tracks and drums. I'm like, let me just try it. Drove there with drums in my car, and I just, put my drums together, and I had to play and sing. And I'm like, actually, I like this. It's not bad. And that was my first time trying it.
When was this?
This was about 5-6 years ago. Yeah, it was about 5-6 years ago. This was the year that Band of Brothers I think you may have been. I'm not sure. I think you guys may have been there, but it was. I know Band of Brothers performed, Robbie performed,
Okay.
and we were all there. And I was just like, let me just do it. Let me just try it. Yeah.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't see it a lot, man. I'm really glad you're tapping more into your artistry.
Yeah.
And, you actually picked my brain already of my next question. But do you think that the gigging side of things has taken away from your artistry? And even before we get into what was your main goal moving here to Atlanta? Was it to get more into your artistry, or to be more on the touring side as a musician, or all the above?
I think it was just to do music, period. Like when I first moved here, I wanted to. I'm lying. When I first moved here, I wanted to be an artist.
Okay.
And I know that drums was a talent of mine, and it was also a goal for me to tour. I'm like, all right, now I'm going to use this too because I am good at it.
Right.
But artistry has always been like the number one goal for me.
Okay.
I think the thing was I wasn't as confident as I should have been. And so because of that, I just stayed in the background doing production or writing, and I never really gave myself a full chance. So now here I am years later. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna do it.
And why do you think you had a lack of confidence at the time?
I think it was just because me comparing myself to everybody.
Yeah.
You see everybody else flourishing and doing well, and sometimes you can get so wrapped up in that, and it's like, let me see if they need production. Let me do that. Instead of asking them like, hey, I sing, would you like to be a feature? Can we work on some stuff? Because I'll be honest, sometimes you can reach out to certain people and you may be a little nervous because you may feel like I'm not in the same group or the circle, or he has or she has way more experience. So sometimes you may overthink and you just may never send that text. And sometimes that used to be me. I just never sent the text, or I'll reach out and then I won't hear anything and I'll just go back in my background.
So that gets me back into the question I led off with. So do you think that the drumming and gigging, did it take away from anything? Like, I have these opportunities, I'm making money as a drummer, so I have a little more of a safety net that I don't need to go full force with my artistry. So do you think it's taken away from your artistry, at least in the past?
I think it has, but I think it has, but I didn't use it to my advantage until later on. Perfect example, right? I did a tour. I used to play for a group called St. Beauty, and we had opened up for Janelle Monáe. And I remember I was talking to my guy Chris Pat, and he was like, "Yo, you're doing this tour. Why don't you see in between like off days if you can just book a show?" So far sounds. Yep. So I did that, and it started to get traction, not just online, but Janelle and the band were like, "Yo, I didn't know you sang. I didn't know you did this." I would post it, and that's how I was just like, nah, I can do both. It's just sometimes one can be a little time consuming because it is your job. Yeah. So you really can give it 100% like how you want to. And I think now I'm in a place where, do I let one go and really give it my all? But you're nervous because it's like, this is your bread and butter. This is how you make money.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was about to say, actually about to kick it to you because we talked about this on our first episode together, but just us coming from the gigging world, but we had very minimalistic gigs first. So church, I can handle that. That's a couple days a week versus touring and starting to do all these arrangements, MDing, and then being in corporate bands and stuff like that. Something that's a little more manageable. So you had a lot of time to give your artist, and we built a lot of that buzz. And because of that buzz, we started getting booked for all these other gigs. So we moved to LA, and now our focus shifted. So we were starting to put more attention into the background gigs with Rihanna, me working with all the different artists that I work with. And we saw this 2-year period where we had a drop off in our output in terms of what we were doing for ourselves and what our vision was. I would love for you to chime in on just your trajectory and how you came to that decision. I gotta go full force with my artistry.
It's interesting because when I was in it, I used to look at it like what you were saying, Remy, of like, I wish I had done this. If I had spent more time doing this, then I could have been here or where this person is. But in hindsight, I honestly look at it like everything that I did, even if it wasn't literally feeding my artistry in that moment, was feeding my artistry in that moment. Because I think sometimes we look at things so literal, like I had to be only doing my stuff in order for that to be feeding my pack. But for me, the background singing, the corporate gig, writing for other people, all of it lent itself to create this ball of all of these different things of who I am now. Because I sang background for Rihanna, I was able to build a relationship with her. And then full circle, she invites me as an artist to perform on the Savage Fenty fashion show as Jade Nova years later. But I wouldn't have had that relationship if I didn't spend that time cultivating those relationships. Or cultivating my relationship with Adam Blackstone, who put me on different things. And then I'm on That's My Jam because Adam Blackstone is MDing. I get to do my comedian side. So I've always, not always, because at the time, like I said, I looked at it like, no, I'm missing. But I have so much gratitude for my journey because now it is literally all the things that make me who I am. And I have spaces that I can shift in and out of. And I think that's the misconception, is that it has to be this like one size fits all experience. If I'm not just doing what these other artists do, you look at the artists like, oh, they're doing so well, but let's just call it what it is. With the music alone, are they really doing that well? When it comes to music alone, if you're just an artist and that's all that you do, unless you just have some crazy deal and you just had this superstar status, which as we see is slowly declining in this day and age.
Absolutely.
Are you really making money off music, or is it the brand deals and all the other things that come along with it? So being a drummer or being an MD, being a comedian, or whatever hats we choose to wear are the things that actually are going to fuel our artistry in a much bigger way and give us the ability to be independent in doing it, so we don't have to sell ourselves short by getting a deal in order to have visibility. I'm grateful for all the stuff I did. And I feel like I look back now, like even when we've been just going through our B-roll, because we've been collecting B-roll for the podcast, and I'm like, man, remember we did this and we did that and we did this, and it's like, oh, it all makes so much sense now. So I think advice to any upcoming artist, just enjoy your journey and look at your process as this unique puzzle that you are building that is going to lend itself to all that you can become.
It's about balance and learning how to use those things as a stepping stone and when to transition is the most important part. Yes, I've reached the ceiling with this, and now I have enough money to be able to go and fund the things that I want to do. I think it's a necessary part of we call it in what we're building in our courses the gigger phase, where it's the 9 to 5 of being a creator. I don't work for a specific person, and it's not set hours, but that is how I pay the bills until I can ultimately start my business and sustain completely off of that. So, it's just being strategic and not getting stuck there, because that's what'll happen with a lot of people, and you will end up gigging for the rest of your life.
And not just getting stuck there, but like you were saying earlier, in the advice that your father gave you, don't shrink yourself in those spaces. Take up all the space in those opportunities, because what happens is, like you said, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna play this part or play this role. But if you take up spaces in those other lanes that you live, you can open up so many doors to have those relationships and to play other parts than just the role that you are initially there for.
Yes, I totally agree. I want to tag off what you both were saying. I feel like when you're in a space, when you're playing for an artist or any creative, yes, you're touring with this artist, but you're also opening up other opportunities to produce for them. And that's how it happened with Summer.
Tell us the story.
So we were on tour, and at the time, London was on the bus, and we were just playing records. And at first I was being modest. I was like, or just being in the background. And I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it. This is London. He's right here on the bus. He was like, yo, what you got? So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna play my best track and try to be cool. I'm like, yeah, I got it. All right, bro. So he bobbing his head, and he was like, nah. He was like, no, bro, we gotta lock in. We gotta lock in. And you hear that word, bro, like, we gotta lock in. I'm like, we're not locking in. He ain't rocking with it. And I got a call, sitting at home, and Justice in London was like, yo, what you doing? I'm like, I'm just chilling. You want to work on Summer's album? Absolutely. And that was my first time getting like a big placement. So if it wasn't for me just first starting to playing with Summer and building that relationship, that would have never happened. I totally agree with what you're saying.
And then taking up space in that moment.
Yes.
So.
Gotta take up the space.
Got to.
So I'm curious, you're talking about the production. Who are some of your production influences?
Yo, D-Mile.
He's so incredibly
Shout
versatile.
out to D-Mile, the homie.
D-Mile is crazy, man. Who else? Timbaland. He's always been a favorite of mine. Brian Michael Cox. Of course, Jermaine Dupri. Q-Tip, of course, I said earlier. I'm trying to think who else. Those are the big ones for me. I have a list, but I can't think of them right now. But yeah, those are the big ones for me.
That's wild. As y'all naming producers, I'm realizing there's not that many women.
Man, it's a
wow.
it's
Going
not a
because
lot.
I was trying to think.
But they have a big movement going on now. I can't remember what the.
And let me correct myself. I'm not saying there's not many women that exist in the landscape of it. But when you think of the legends and the people that we grew up listening to, women didn't seem to have that opportunity. Outside of Missy, I would say is probably one of the only producers that come to my mind.
Yeah, I can't remember. I want to shout them out. I want to say it's called Girls Make Beats. If you could look that up for me. But they have a movement now that is like, with they're setting up these like production studios for specifically for girls, and they've been partnering and have workshops and different things. Is that
She said that's what it's called. Yeah.
Girls Make Beats.
Fire.
And but yeah, they're doing a lot of work in the community and have been doing partnerships. I wish I could say more about what they're doing. I've been following their movement, and it's been beautiful to see.
That's dope.
Them creating a space where young girls are able to see themselves being behind the scenes as well, and not just having to be the artist.
Yeah.
I think that's really important, and yeah, it's definitely not a man job.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. I wanted to get into your first project. Is how do you say
Yeah,
it?
the numbers.
Yeah.
How do you put together?
It's called it's 08105.
Okay.
Yeah, 08105 was the zip code of where I'm from, Camden, New Jersey.
dope.
Yeah. That was just like an intro to Remey. I just wanted to take a chance, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do this artistry thing for real. I felt like I was good enough to put out music. And it's also it's like a journal of my past. Some of the stories that that I turned into songs are on there. Yeah. That's 08105, man. That's my baby.
Yeah,
Did you write all the songs? You're a songwriter as well. Yeah.
I wrote pretty much all of the songs, and I had some help on, I think, 2, maybe 3 of the songs.
He wrote all the songs.
Yes.
AKA, I wrote all that shit.
My guy, shout out to my guy, Ola and Solomon. They're both amazing writers. Yeah, they're dope. Super dope, yeah.
And the last release that you had was Location that just came out this summer.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about that? And and is it from this upcoming project that you're working on?
It'll be from the upcoming project. Location. What's crazy is that song was actually going to be a cover. It was going to be a mashup.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
It was mashups.
The mashup. You're so dope.
Thank you. It was going to be a mashup of Victoria Monet's FUCK, Friend You Can Keep Some. And I played it for my boy. He was like, nah, bro. He said, He said, that's not a mashup. That's a single. So at first I just had key bass on it, and it's inspired by my pops. Just have a kind of consistent bass line. And yeah.
Oh, man. I love that, man.
Thank you, man.
So yeah, I would love to get into some of our segments. Unless you
I do have another question for
okay.
you
Go
before
ahead.
we do. What is your process in creating especially this album that you're working on now? Because you do have all of these different hats, and I'm just curious your creative process.
So for this project, it was a little different. Of course, as artists, we go through things, and I wanted to make it like a short film. I've been really big on getting music syncs, and I like making music for movies and stuff. I'm like, well, let me try to create my own short film. Later down the line, my album will have a short film with the music.
Yes.
But I just wanted to create something that matched who I am, like my brand. I have the suits, and I'm just really stepping into who I am. So you'll hear like real live strings, as far as orchestra and real musicians. I really just wanted to just dig deep and just give it my all, and not just tap on a computer. Yeah.
Is the story already complete and you make the music around it? Or?
Yes. I could tell the name of the project.
Oh, we're getting an exclusive?
Yeah. So the name of the project is called Let's Be Honest, You Love It Here. And I named it Let's Be Honest, You Love It Here is because it's a saying that my guy Lou and I came up with. It's pretty much, you can't keep running to what you're running away from. And I think sometimes people want better. They see better for themselves. However, they can't, when better comes, they can't accept it because they're still stuck in their past, and they run back to it. It's like they're programmed to be like, this is new, and I know it's good for me, but I don't like the feeling because it's uncomfortable. It's not what I'm used to.
Come on.
So I'm going to go back. But then when you go back, it's like a pattern.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
that is some powerful messaging that you touching on, brother.
Yeah.
Because that is literally the path. That's our purpose in this lifetime.
Yeah.
Is to learn the lessons and to move through that uncomfortable feeling to get to the next boss that you got to fight on the video game and just keep going and keep tackling it. 'Cause if you don't, it's gonna show up in that next relationship
Absolutely.
or that next connection. Everything. Like, how big is mental health to you, and what part has it played in the creation of this project?
Oh man, mental health for me is huge. I'm thankful that for me, I'm very self-aware when I'm off.
What's your sign?
I'm a Taurus.
Oh, okay.
I'm a Taurus.
Like Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, he's a Taurus. See, that's why I gotta work with him, man. Mental health is huge for me, especially growing up as a child. It's like you go through so many things especially I can talk about my story, just how I grew up. Yes, I grew up in church, but I grew up in Camden, New Jersey. And for those of, anytime I say I'm from Camden, New Jersey, everybody's like, oh,
Yes.
you all right? Yeah, it's rough.
Are you okay?
But it's like I've seen a lot. I've been through some things, not just being there, but just growing up and maturing as an adult. It's like certain habits that you're trying to break, certain things that triggered you in your past, deeply rooted issues that you're trying to just break away from. So I went to therapy.
When did you start therapy?
I started therapy. I mean, I don't go now, but I started going to therapy in about, 2020, 2021. And I just started going every week. And she just told me, she was like, a lot of the issues start from your childhood. So it's pretty much like me. I felt like I was just trying to save that inner child. Like I feel like he was stuck. So I'm going back to save this person that never really got a chance to just be or feel free. So that's something that I'm better at now. I feel like myself.
Because that inner child will keep going back to what they already know, and that very thing that they were trying to run away from.
Yeah.
That trauma we will end up going back to because it's a survival response for how we thought was the best way to save us at the time, whatever we were scared of. So yeah, I love that, man, and I think we all have to take a deeper look at ourselves and that keep coming back up for us because they will continue to show themselves until you work it out, and that's from our health. And from seeing crime, from seeing bad relationship, the whole nine, man. And yeah, so kudos to you for doing the work, man, and just trying to be a better person. No matter where you come from, it's there's always that light at the end of the tunnel. You're not defined by your atmosphere. You're not defined by your family. So yeah, I love that, man.
I'm just curious, both of you as Black men, how you all navigated that space of, because you coming from Columbus, Georgia's music, and both of you all's safe haven.
Yeah.
What that was like, coming into your own and finding your self and your purpose and your mental health through that trajectory.
Yeah, I would say for me, coming from Columbus, Georgia, same as Camden, a lot of crime. I didn't have a lot of influences my age that were good. I literally, from the time I was in middle school, knew people personally who had been shot, jumped. I can name 5 people who had been murdered that I personally knew.
Yeah.
As a child?
I mean, over the years, but as a child, at least 3 or 4.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
And that was the life. Listening to a lot of the taco hip hop that they were purposely feeding our communities, and just not having any outlets to sing. The single moms, not having the fathers around, and music was everything for me because at least my parents made me feel uncomfortable that I couldn't be around that. I didn't feel comfortable being around that. So I was always by myself making music until I met some of my close friends, Kennard and Ezra, who I ended up starting a group with. And but yeah, music was everything. I knew from 7th grade that I wanted to go to Berklee College of Music and that I wanted to get out of there, man.
Middle school
I didn't go
ambitions.
to parties. There was always a shooting, something always going on, man. And
So music protected you.
it did. It did. It gave me something to strive for and to have influences outside of my city, to see people like all the musicians we grew up idolizing, to be like, one day I want to do that. I want to go be around people. And I think a big shift for me was in 8th grade. I went to Interlochen Arts Academy up in Michigan, in Interlochen, Michigan. And it was like I think 4 or 6 week summer program, and just to see so many musicians my age like being amazing, and that just changed my whole perspective. It's like, oh, there's something else out there for me, and I belong in these types of circles where people are like really taking that seriously. So Yeah, I'm so grateful for music because it's changed everything. It's the reason why I changed my health. Ultimately, over the years, being able to get out and travel and see more of the world makes you have a different perspective. And now I'm in that phase where I'm ready to give that back to the people I grew up with, try to do my part in my city and in my community.
That's beautiful.
I love that, man. My story is very similar to yours. Growing up in Camden, you had shootouts, you had just killings all the time. For me, I was locked in music. And it was either music, like going to drum sheds or jam sessions, or you in church.
Yep.
So I really didn't even have I didn't have any space to really just venture out. Of course, I only had like 3 friends that I hung out with my whole time being in New Jersey. And of course, when I went to church, I had my friends, but music definitely saved my life too. That's something that I always wanted to do. I mean, I wanted to be, my dad set that up for me. I just wanted to be like my dad. He was touring and I'm like, he would tell me, like, yeah, man, I'm in DC or this and that. I'm like, man, I want to be in DC. That was like the push for me. I was just inspired. During the summertime, summer break, he'll have me in settlement music school where I would learn to read music, play jazz. And when school started, I was in marching band, and marching band is like from the fall to I think Thanksgiving. Around that time, I was just always in music. Yeah. And I never wanted to leave it. So, yeah, music definitely saved me, too.
Yeah, man.
We need more music programs.
We do.
Yeah.
We need more music programs.
And we need more, just community programs just in general. But I'm not a religious person at all anymore, but I'm grateful for my home church and having a space where there were other men who poured into us. Yeah. That was another big part of it, is just having that space where I had an outlet to actually play.
Yeah.
There was I didn't live close to Philly, or Atlanta was 2 hours up the road, so I couldn't go up there a lot. So yeah, it was definitely very important for me to have some positive male influences outside of my dad, because I didn't live with my dad. Yeah. So yeah, we need more churches who actually are doing something for the community and not just getting so caught up in the dogma of religion, and understanding that we have to have life application. We have to allow this stuff to show up in people's lives, because at the end of the day, you can go all day and learn about this stuff, but how are you becoming a better person because of it? Yeah. And we got to see more of that change in people's lives, man. Because the people I'm talking about who got killed, they went to church. You know what I'm saying? So that's not enough. It has to show up. You went to church, I went to church, we both went to therapy. Yeah. And we both had to do that work for ourselves and not look at the external to save us. We have to save ourselves in a sense and go the extra mile to do the work.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think who was it? Will Smith. He said it's not your fault for all the things that happened to you in your past, but it's your responsibility to make an action to change it, fix it, want better. And that stuck with me. I totally agree with what you were saying. It's like all the things that I've been through, but I'm still alive, so I have some time to change it. Yeah. And because I want to be better. Yeah. Yeah.
Right on. Yeah. I love it. Just, I guess this last thing, and then we can go to it, because you were speaking on just hip hop and the influence that it had in your community. And then I was thinking of the music programs and how music saved you all, but music also could have killed. And I'm just curious how you feel your responsibility is as an artist, and is that something that you consider in how you create your art? Obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
But is it a conscious decision?
Yes. I feel like I always look at creatives or artists, right? Like the X-Men. We're like mutants, right?
Yeah.
But even as mutants, like you think about how they were treated. It's like they were saving the world, healing the world through music, but they were getting taken advantage of.
Wow. Yeah.
But it's like the messages that we put in our music are so important, because you go to a party and you hear about people, oh, I'm about to shoot, I got the AK, I'm gonna bust him in his head, and it's like, nah, that's you're pouring in negative to that person that's in the party. Now the energy's changed. Now it's a fight. I'm very careful as far as what I say in my music, because I feel like I have superpowers. I feel like you guys have superpowers, and the production, how you produce and what you write, and people are receiving that. So I'm very mindful of what I say. Yeah.
Beautiful. No, we have to be conscious about this, man. We talked a little bit about this in our last episode, but it's not just about you.
Yeah.
It's about the collective. It's about that next generation that you're touching that doesn't know any better and who is getting raised by the radio, getting raised by social media. And if you're a part of sending them towards what we call a drained life versus a charged life, that's your responsibility. That is on your hands. That you were a part of sending that person towards their lower self versus making them move towards their higher self.
I love that.
Yeah.
Ashe. All right, we can do these segments now.
Let's get it.
This is a great conversation.
It's been amazing. So yeah, I want to get into Dream and Nightmare. We see a lot of polarity in this industry, doing music, and the ups and downs that come along with it, the highs and lows. Such great days and being on such a high, and then such low days by the letdowns of this industry. So I'm curious of a dream scenario for you that came true, and a nightmare as well. You can start with the nightmare first.
Let's end on, we like to end on that.
So what's a nightmare experience that you've had? What did you learn from it?
Yeah, I learned a lot. I got humbled real quick. I was young. I think I was like fresh out of high school. And it was a competition going on. And I looked at everybody who was in the competition. It was like a baby girl. She was like 10. She was ballerina dancing. It was this other guy. He was like dancing, but it wasn't. When you're young, you do these weird dances. And it's like, no, that's not it. And then me, I'm like, no, I'm really singing. I'm like, oh, I'm going to win this talent show. It's easy. And I said, what song did I sing? No matter what the people say, they're going to love you anyway. That one, Anthony Hamilton.
Yeah.
I was doing fine. Everything was going so well. And I'm like, you know what? I won it. I'm going to just take it up a notch. I decided to hit a high note.
You didn't practice this note?
No.
Okay. A little surprise.
It was a little surprise. And it was like, I went, no matter what the people say, I'm going to love you anyway. All my life. I said, I can't. And I couldn't. After that, I was like, when you crack or you take an L, you're trying to redeem yourself. It was like, all right, I'm going to.
Wait, Remy, it was on the word can't.
I can't. And I couldn't, yo. And I was trying. I'm trying so hard. Like, I'm trying to hit other notes. Everything was just going bad. It was like, what is wrong?
No.
The little girl won.
I
didn't even place. I didn't place.
Man.
So that was a nightmare for me. I'm like, I'll never do that again.
Do you
never
have
do
a
that
video?
Again. I don't. I wish I did because it was it humbled me tremendously.
Yeah.
I was just like, no, I'm not doing this no more.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You got to practice what you
Yeah, you
got to
practice.
Man.
I got to
At
way
least
too ahead of
Do
myself.
it one time just to make sure you got it.
Yeah, I was feeling myself too much.
And you can't.
Yeah, and
That is hilarious.
I can't.
I shan't.
Yeah.
So Dream, what was your dream situation that came true?
Man, it happened this year. I opened up for Tank.
Yes,
Yeah.
we saw that, man. That is
I opened
so
up for
dope.
Tank, man, and that was and it was the day before my birthday, so that made it just super crazy for me. But when I started to do my mashups and I was consistent, I did the Alex Isley mashup with "Grew with You," and he reposted it. So I was like, "Oh man, thank you," and I just kept in touch. Ever since then, he started looking at my videos, and I remember Summer did a festival. And he was backstage. And sometimes people just see you online. So I was like, hey, what's going on, bro? My name Remey. He's like, come on, nigga, man. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that. He was like, nigga, I know who you are. He was like, bro. And what's the guy, Jay Valentine? He was like, remember the nigga I was telling you about who was doing all the covers? He was like, him? He was like, this him. He was like, nigga, you cold.
Not you sounding like that, because I couldn't imagine him saying this.
So for me, I'm like, oh, okay, that's dope. He remembered. And when he had the competition, he was like, yo, I'm doing a competition. So I'm not going to just message. I'm going to work hard and I'm going to do it. I'm going to go through the process. So I put out my video, then pay no mind. I'm like, whatever happens, if it's for me, it's for me. Random, just in my room, just watching TV. Got the TV on and I'm producing. He was like, yo, you free Friday night to open? I'm like, absolutely.
Amazing,
Open for him.
man.
I opened for him, Kerry Hilson, and Carl Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fire, man.
Did you sing no matter what the people said?
I did not.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't. I left that. Yeah, I would never sing that song again. Never sing that song.
Shout
That's
out to Tank.
amazing.
He is a real one, man.
He is,
and,
man.
He and one of our greats who is constantly giving back to the next generation. And shout out to Jay Valentine as well. I worked with him when I first signed my deal at Motown. I worked with him and Tank
That's
back in
crazy.
the day, and They have always showed love ever since. And
Just
yeah,
good guys.
yeah,
He
man,
is,
because
man.
you don't see it a lot of times, man, where people are really making an effort to pass the baton to the
Yeah.
next generation. And we need more of that. We need more mentorship. We need more people who care about this next generation of artists, man, and so that we leave it in good hands. So
Yeah.
shout out to Tank for all
goat,
you're doing, my
man.
bro. Yes,
Goat,
and
man.
Jay Valentine, my guy.
Yes.
And for choosing wisely.
Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate you, man.
You want to get into Sign Drop Collab?
Yes.
Yeah.
So do you want to explain?
Nah, you
Sign?
got it.
So Sign Drop Collab is our version of F, Marry, Kill.
Okay.
But we're just doing it in the scope of not just music, but all things. We've curated it specifically for you.
Okay.
So we're going to give you 3 things.
Okay.
The one that you sign is the equivalent to marry. That's the thing that is going to stay with you.
Okay.
The thing that's your top. That's the number 1.
Got you.
Collab is the thing that it's like your number 2, basically.
Okay.
Like you love it, you appreciate, it ain't the thing you marrying.
Yeah.
It ain't the signing. And then drop is no shade. We gotta, one
Yeah.
of them gotta go.
Got you.
So that's the 3rd place situation.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to kick it off with production, drums, and singing.
Oh, y'all gonna start like that.
Yeah.
Sign, drop, collab. So which one you gonna sign?
You know what?
What?
The way the industry is going right now. Oh, this is hard, man.
is.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
the point.
Because I believe in myself, artistry.
Come on,
Yeah.
come on.
Artistry.
So we're signing artistry. So what are we collabing with? What is the 2nd place that will always be there?
Drums. I've always played drums. That's what started this whole thing. So I don't think that'll ever leave. Oh, that's that production though. Oh, nah, drums, that's what started everything. It would have to be drums. So production.
Collab with drums. You drop in production.
See, production, it just brings in a lot of money. It writes that check. I mean,
Now we won't hold you to this.
yeah, no,
Just so you know.
nah, it'll be artistry, drums, production.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You got another one?
Yeah, I want to do an artist.
Okay.
Just your personal opinion on male R&B.
And I think we're gonna put Stevie Wonder in there.
Okay.
Maybe
Okay.
now that
So
This-
we're gonna
okay.
go. I don't know which one I want to take out.
since we already know Stevie Wonder would be the one that he would sign, maybe we won't.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll keep it more of an even playing field.
Yeah, let's do Music Soul Child, Tank, and Joe.
Oh, wow.
Sign, drop, collab. No
This
matter
is
what.
crazy. Okay. Tank. Joe. I love music, man. I do, man. He got some.
He is legendary.
So you sign in Tank?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. Collabing. What's
Definitely collab with Joe.
Okay.
Our... Okay.
Joe is. I'm sorry, music, and I love music, but nah, I gotta go with those. Those are the
That's
top
fair.
2.
Word. Okay.
That's
So
fair.
we dropping music.
Yeah, we gotta drop music.
We love
man.
you, music.
Yeah.
All right. Last, we're gonna go drummers. Specifically, some in our generation from Atlanta.
Okay.
Not from one of them's not from Atlanta, but came up in Atlanta.
Okay.
So Devin Sticks Taylor, Ray Marshall, and Paige Cooper.
Sign, drop, collab.
I hope they don't go on my IG. Be like,
Nah, they all the homies, man. It's
And
all
the thing is, the reason all these people are here, or these categories are here, is because they're of the highest.
Yeah.
It's-
Yes.
they're all interchangeable.
Yeah.
If we had to make this choice, that's just the nature of the game.
Devin.
We signing Devin.
Signing
We
Devin.
signing Devin.
Devin's
Ray.
so cold.
What?
He's so cold.
Devin is like. Devin makes you feel like. Maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this, yo. I saw him. I'm all right. Off topic, real quick.
No, let's go.
I saw him. We had to do. It was like a festival tour, and he was playing with Party, and he had a solo, and me, I'm killing. Everybody killed. Everybody who performed killed, and then Devin has his solo. Wait. And I just don't understand. I'm like, bro, what is wrong with you? Do you hate somebody? It's like the way his mind works. I'm like, it just makes you think, maybe I just need to go practice a little bit more. I'm gonna go practice. So I'm gonna definitely go with Devin. Ray Marshall is an animal. He's so tasteful, super tasteful, man.
And he's so chill.
So chill.
But it comes.
How do you do all of that with nothing on your face?
Nothing.
You ain't breaking a sweat. You
At
just
all.
chilling.
Just chilling. And unfortunately, man, I love Paige, man. The reason why I love Paige is because the way he plays parts. I heard him play with SZA.
Man.
And I'm actually on Apple Music, him playing with SZA live, and I'm like, yo, he plays the record super perfect. But I'm sorry, bro. I gotta drop you, man.
Yeah. It's all good, man.
It's all good.
They all freaking beasts,
They're
man.
all
the
beasts,
homies, man. But yeah, that was a tough one for me.
That was a tough
too.
one.
I feel like that would be the same for you, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go same order, man. When I first heard Devin,
Yo.
he had to be 18, 19 at the time. And I was like, he is gonna be the best drummer ever. Literally. Like no exaggeration. Like, and there's some other younger guys that are coming who are clearly very inspired. You can see his influence in the drum community now, man. But just his work on Justin Bieber and Party Next Door and
Usher.
Usher and music. He played for music for a little bit too. Man, everybody he plays with, man, he brings an energy to the gig that is unmatched, man.
Remember,
And
he was with us. He did the
Ray-
That Same Energy tour with Sticks.
Yeah, so Ray and Devin both played with
and
Jay.
Ray.
Yeah,
That's so fire.
So I
yo.
was honored to have both of my brothers.
Yeah,
man.
they both changed my whole perspective on
they're
drums,
crazy,
man.
man.
Yeah.
I remember when I first moved here, and I was like, yo, I'm moving to Atlanta. I want to share with y'all. It was him and Jerome Flood. I'm like, yo, I just want to lock in. And I didn't think they would remember. And this is when Apache was up and running.
Yep.
And I saw him, and he was like, yo, Remy. I was like, yeah. He was like,
That's his voice.
You're good at
he was
impersonations,
like,
bro.
he was like, bro, you hit me up on IG. You know, respond. You gonna share it or what? I got that laugh.
Yeah.
He was like, so he was like, man, you tripping. So after that, we shared, and bro, he's incredible, man. He's one of the best.
Yeah, facts, man.
I mean, shoot, we could just make him our gym of the week.
True.
Because that's the next segment. Let's just shout out to Devin, man.
Devin, bro.
He's so great. It's such a good guy.
Yes,
Such
never
a good
changed.
person.
Yeah,
Yeah, we love you, brother.
my bro, man.
Yeah, man. And I'm curious if you had another gym of the week, independent, a creator, artist, filmmaker, entrepreneur, anyone who's not funded by a major label or major snare.
What? I'm gonna give a shout out to my wife. She's my gym of the week. She's an amazing artist. She has her own company called 5-2. She's actually into production and stage production. And she's just great at what she does.
And tell him her name.
Jessica. But she goes by Jay. Yes.
Jayh.
Jayh.
Yeah.
Jay sings. She's amazing. Well, the crazy thing is when I first moved here, I used to call her Jai. I don't know why. I just thought I'm terrible with names. I was like, Jai, how you doing? She was like, that's but yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Jay. She's been a friend of ours for a decade now.
Yeah.
That's crazy how time flies. But
Yes.
yeah, just a super sweet person, and he's always a great energy to be around. So
Absolutely.
yes, definitely shout out to Jay.
And empowering women and owning their
Absolutely.
beauty, their inner beauty, their
Yes.
mental health. Yeah, shout out to Jay.
She's the best, man.
So we want to get into our last part of this, where it's called "Let There Be."
Okay.
But the B is a dot for manifestation. What we want to manifest. So, let there be what in your case? So what are you trying to manifest? And it doesn't have to be anything in the immediate future, but what's on your heart to manifest for yourself, so we can put all our energy and intention on helping you manifest it.
Let there be purpose. I think money is cool. All that is cool. However, for me, I'm like, life isn't worth living if you aren't living in your purpose. I think sometimes we can get so caught up in being on social media, gotta be consistent, gotta post this content. But it's like, some of the content that we post, is it helping somebody?
Come on.
Are you saving somebody? You know what I mean? Are you healing somebody? So that's my biggest thing. When I leave this earth, I want to be able to make an impact and be like, Remey did what he was supposed to do with the gifts that he was given, and he's done. He did what he was supposed to do.
That's beautiful, man.
Let there be
You
purpose.
already manifesting that right now, bro.
Absolutely.
I can't wait for this new album.
Thank you.
Tell everybody where they can find you.
Oh, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all the same name. All the same name. I'm gonna make it easy for you. Remey, Remey Williams. Remey, Remey Williams.
Period.
My God, make sure y'all go follow Remey. Super talented, man.
Thank
And
you.
just so glad to know you and proud of your journey, man. It's inspiring to other musicians, and we need to see more musicians come out the background and take up space in their own artistry and starting their businesses. So, yeah, man, just keep doing that great work, man.
Thank you, man.
And thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Let There Be Art podcast. Again, I'm Devin Michael.
I'm Jade Nova.
And I'm Remey Williams.
And we'll catch y'all next time. Peace.